Okay, how we doing?
Good. Great. Hey, Billy, you talked about how this week and next week are pretty crucial to the program. Are there specific things that you feel you've got to get nailed down in the next few practices?
Right, they are crucial. We have to get many things nailed down, and we've already started on Monday. Positionally, we need to make progress at all the positions, especially quarterback. We have to get some scheme things down. We've added quite a bit to our packages on both sides of the ball and on special teams. We've got to find more core special teams players. You know, we have to make big improvement in special teams next year, and we need more guys to step up that are like second and third team guys, and we're going to be looking for that today, Friday, and Saturday.
What can you tell us about the QB situation? Obviously, everybody wants to know, is one guy differentiated himself maybe from the other at all yet?
Yeah, really not. Really, I can't say that one guy's really stood out above the other guy. They both had their moments. I've been very impressed with how hard each guy's worked. You think about these guys, they're both young. They're both 18, 19 years old. Many of the guys that they're playing with have been in the system, obviously for Tyler definitely, and even for Bench, have been in the system longer than them. So it's a little bit different than last year where everybody was new. So these guys have had to catch up to these veteran guys, and I think they've done a good job. Both guys have had some tough moments. Both guys have had some good moments, and we're just looking for it to be more consistent over the next 5 or 6 practices.
So do you split reps with the first?
Basically, both guys, I think, have exactly 168 reps. If you're looking at the 7-on-7s and the 11-on-11s, they both have the exact same amount of reps.
So given that, how would you assess the progress of the offense overall this spring?
I think we've made a lot of progress. I really do. I think that these guys have a better feel for what we're doing. They play faster because they're not thinking as much. The quarterbacks, like I said, have had to catch up to the other guys that have been here for a while, and I think they've tried to do that. And again, our best players in the fall need to play well, and we need to do a great job, especially me, of keeping them healthy, and that'll be the goal.
With Tyler specifically, how about just his transition, not just with the team there, but moving out here in the middle of the winter from California and sort of?
Yeah, I think you have to give Tyler a lot of credit, just like you have to give Stephen Bench a lot of credit. I mean, here are two guys, Tyler from 3,000 miles away, Bench from 1,000 miles away, that they're a long way from home, and not many guys would do that. So you have to give them both credit for doing that, for making the trip and making the choice to come to Penn State and trying to be the quarterback. So, I have respect for both of these kids.
Kyle Carter said today on a conference call that he's ahead of schedule. How big of a relief was that to you? Not just that you guys will have him back, but that he's kind of through the worst part of that pretty serious injury.
Well, I think you can't say enough. I have to say, I was just talking to a prospect up there. What I love about this team are these kids. I mean, these are fantastic kids. I've said this over and over again. I said it last year, and I feel the same way about these guys. And Kyle Carter is that type of guy. He's worked extremely hard. He actually won the rehab award for our off-season training program for guys that are injured. He practiced. He's been out here practicing. It's not like he's taken any days off from practice. He's been non-contact because that's what I want to do with him. But we think he'll be back ready to go. And a much improved player next year.
Bill, last year you had some of the natural leadership guys in here, the seniors who were coming back and everything. Are there guys so far in the spring who have sort of filled that void, and do you need to have that happen now rather than in the summer?
No, I tell you, I have to tell you that here's the way I feel about that. We had great leaders last year, and every year's different. And for the situation that we were in last year, we needed those leaders. And so for a new coaching staff, it was fantastic to have those 31 seniors. So now those guys are gone. Well, just because those guys are gone doesn't mean we're depleted in the leadership category. We feel really good about the guys that are back for us now. It's a little bit different type of leadership group. It's older guys. It's medium guys. Juniors, sophomores. It's younger guys. That we think are going to be leaders too. But we've got a bunch of kids that really enjoy practicing, and we think we're going to be okay in the leadership department.
Bill, how tough was it to settle these guys to put last season behind them? The
tough was it to get them to kind of drop the way last season ended and start focus on the spring?
Well, judging by how they've practiced this spring, it's gone pretty well. I think these guys have not rested on their so-called laurels, and the players that played well last year are practicing really hard this year, and the guys that didn't play that much last year, a lot of those guys are much improved, and so I feel like these guys are really focused on the 2013 year.
Did that surprise you at all?
No.
Bill, how have the new QBs been connecting with the wide receivers, especially Allen Robinson, so far this spring?
Yeah, really well. I mean, Allen's made a lot of plays out here, so I guess you'd say, and he's made plays in the passing game from both quarterbacks. So you'd have to say that they've connected pretty well this spring.
Both Allen and Adrian had a lot of fun talking about their kind of one-on-one battles when it happens in practice. What's been your perspective on that? Is that kind of a good thing to see?
Oh yeah, yeah. Anytime you have two good players that want to compete against each other, it's always good for the team. And then when we show it to the team on film, whether it's Urschel against Daquan Jones or Allen against Adrian or Allen against Jordan Lucas, who's a heck of a young player. The tight ends, you've got Jesse James going against Deion Barnes or C.J. Olenyan. I mean, these are good battles. That's what's fun about spring practice. And, then it's my job to make sure that we don't overdo it, that we get these guys so that they're ready to go on August 31st. But, those are definitely good battles for our team to see.
So what have you seen from this secondary, and what's allowed you to implement the nickel? Is it more depth? Is it more just spending another year in the system?
Well, we've added depth there. So we've added Trevor Williams and Malik Golden over there, and that's been both of those have been good moves. And so, yeah, we do have a little bit more depth. So we have more the ability to go to a 5 DB personnel grouping or even a 6 DB personnel grouping. And so I think that's the main reason for it. And plus those guys have gone out, I think, from what I've seen, and practiced well. They've taken the coaching, they're making better plays on the ball, and they're competing, and we have more guys over there. So yeah, I think the added depth has helped.
To follow that up, do you feel like maybe last year not running a true nickel, was that maybe, did that hinder you guys at all? Was that at a disadvantage at some points?
It's different in college football than it is in pro football. You have to have nickel in the pros and dime in the pros, because if you don't, it's a passing league. I think in the Big Ten, Gerald Hodges was our space linebacker. So he's as good as in the Big Ten, he was as good as a lot of nickel DBs. So, I think we were okay there. But of course, anytime a team goes to 3 wide receiver groupings or 4 wide receiver groupings, you'd like to have a little bit more speed on the field, and maybe we have the ability to do that this year.
Have you been able to expand on last year's playbook? And with that being said, how have you been able to do that while bringing the quarterbacks in?
We've expanded. Yeah, we've definitely we've added more to our language, and I think the quarterbacks have adapted well. I think it's all about how hard they work at learning it and how well you do, how good of a job you do at teaching it. And I think that we've done a good job of teaching it, and they've worked really hard to learn it. So yeah, we've been able to add quite a bit.
Following up on that, with the experience you have at receiver and tight end coming back, how much does it help the learning curve for the quarterbacks too?
That's a good point. It does help a lot, because now they know what the route is, so they can explain it to the quarterback maybe even after practice or on Sunday when they're just sitting around in the dorm. They know what it means. So instead of they're waiting for Coach O'Brien to tell them what it means on Monday, they know what it means now. So I think that definitely helps.
Well, it would seem to be counterintuitive to add things to the playbook when you're bringing in new quarterbacks. So why isn't it?
Why isn't it? Because the majority of your offense is a veteran offense, and so you've got to. And the other thing is, I don't know how to say this. I want to say this the right way. Last year was the foundation of the offense. We have to add more because our opponents have seen it for a year. We're a different team. We've got whoever the quarterback is will be a different guy. We've got tight ends that have played a full year now that know what to do, receivers, got a different offensive line, different guys playing running back. So yeah, we've added and we've adapted it, I think, to the type of team we have. What's that?
The way Sam came on last year, does that change?
Sam
Ficken?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Does that change your philosophy sometimes on what you might do on 4th and 3 from the 25-28?
We call an outside linebacker position Sam on defense. I was like, I thought you said. Certainly it does. He's kicking with more confidence. I think he has a stronger leg. I think 1 year in the weight room's really helped him. I think, again, going back to his mentality, I think he's a more confident guy. So, yeah, I think he's going to help our team more than he did last year, especially at the beginning of the year.
But you're still going to like going for it on fourth.
Well, I think, again, fourth down comes down to where it is on the field, how many yards you need for the first down, what's the situation in the game. And it just kind of happened to fall right last year with a lot of 4th and 3s, some 4th and 1s. I know there were a couple 4th and longs, but, most of them fell into that situation where it was better to go for it, maybe to get a touchdown out of that drive than to get a field goal. So that's kind of the way it fell last year. Who knows how it'll fall this year.
Coach, you used more of a performance-based scoring in the blue-white game as opposed to the traditional scoring. Will you guys do that again this year, and if so, why?
I think it'll be the same, and the reason why is because you've got guys playing both sides of the ball, and basically switching sides, like going from the blue team to the white team and all that. I mean, instead of plus, you win the game. You're Penn State, so I think it's more about the fans and kind of trying to make some big plays down the field and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to keep it the same. I don't know. I don't really know why that's such a big deal, but I guess some people think it is. So.
Hey, 2 more.
Bill, injury-wise, is there anything new? I mean, as far as Gilliam, is he back or running?
No, Gilliam had a calf injury. He'll be back for summer conditioning, but we had to keep him out. We think he's going to be really good for us, so we didn't want to push that. Other than that, no, there's been the usual bumps and bruises. Knock on wood, I think these kids have done a good job of practicing on their feet and taking care of each other. And Billy Belton got a little bit of a toe right now, so he probably won't practice today, but he'll be fine. Just some bumps and bruises.
Have you had to dial back at all on hitting and stuff to
Yeah.
kind of balance?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we only tackle, so if we're going on a Saturday, we'll tackle on Saturday. So Saturday we'll be in the stadium. We only tackle, and then if we're not going on Saturday, we practice on Friday. We'll tackle on Friday. We don't tackle during the week.
And the reasoning, I mean, is because
it's April 11th, and August 31st is when we need to be ready to tackle, and have our best players ready to go. And that's where I have to personally, can't depend on anybody else other than me to do a great job of making sure that I stay on top of that the health, there's nothing more important this year, next year, the year after than the health of this football team. So we're going to try to do that and teach these guys how to practice on their feet.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks guys. Yep.